Why don't we open up the meeting for the July 4th and November 14th zoning board? Okay, pledge allegiance to the flag.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and we'll take the roll call. We got David Kent,
Yeah.
Butch Simonis, Tom McLaughlin, Stephanie Halter, and Jack Scarborough with us tonight.
Which Cushing?
Butch Cushing, excuse me. What did I call you, Butch? There you go. Okay, so we've got a lettuce on the first case, case number 212019, SE 10-218.
Should we adopt the minutes, Tom? Yeah, I'll do the minutes
Oh.
first.
Okay, good idea, yep. Did everybody get a chance to read the minutes?
Yes, it did.
Move to adopt the minutes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then on the first case by Mike McGinley for out on the highway, we've got a letter from Mr. McGinley, and he wishes to withdraw his application and continue in conversation about our commercial cluster ordinance for the town. So there's not much that we can do. He decides to remove his application, and that'll be fine with us. So we'll move from that one. Move on to the next case, is case number 109048, SE 1113-18. Request by David Sanborn for a special exception from Article 3, Section 304, Table of Uses to allow manufacturing of goods and services sold on the premises in the Village Commercial Zone. This is identified as a special exception use in that Village Commercial Zone. So it isn't an ordinance, use that's allowed. And anybody want to speak for this? Mr. Sanborn, you want to come up? Sure. Great.
So my name is David Sanborn. I own the 1766 Brewing Company, and we're looking for a special exception so we can brew beer at our downtown spot, which used to be Anderson's Bakery. And brought you guys diagrams, and they're really nice hand-drawn diagrams, so don't be jealous. I don't know, did we have these in the packet, the application?
Yeah, we have a miniature one.
No, we don't. Yeah.
If you copied them, I may as well pass them on.
Oh, great, you got a bigger one, huh? That's good. Yeah, this one was kind of like crayons here.
Okay. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, it's definitely. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah, that one more.
You have enough, thank you.
There we go. Sure, we're good.
I'll take it.
Okay.
So you can see the part where it says Keith's Pizza. So that's still occupied from Keith right now. But if you look towards the middle where it says number 18, I don't know if you guys can see that from there, number 18. So basically it's just a small 5-gallon homebrew system. In order for us to be a brew pub, so a brew pub can sell like crowlers and we can sell our own cans and stuff, we have to be a brew pub by the state. We can't just be a restaurant and be able to do that. So, and in order to become a brew pub with the state, you have to brew on site and you have to get a federal TTB license, which we have the TTB. We have everything except for the special exception from the town to be able to manufacture something in town. But the long-term plan is where Keith's Pizza is he's gonna move out, and we eventually want to be able to do more brewing down there. It's like a 3-barrel electric system that we can brew there, transfer right into a holding tank, and from the holding tank go right into the taps. So, a little insight to the long-term plan.
Oh, great.
But for
And,
now, right there, number 18, that's where the home brew will be. It's 5-gallon.
Number 18. So that's what you're gonna have, you still gonna keep your brewing out at the other side of
Yeah.
town?
Yep.
So that's all gonna stay the same, it's just gonna be a separate operation?
Right. So, yeah. So even out at the last chair, we're trying to change the license to a brew pub license. So we're combining the LLCs, so you'll be able to take crowlers to go and cans to go from both places. But yeah, we have a bigger system out there, but long-term, we just thought I think it'd be cool to brew there and then right into the tap.
Gonna be any kind of discharge, like for the, air discharge or?
Yeah, so I already talked to Town and Sewer, and we're gonna have another tank. We basically have another vessel that we're using before. It's a 3-barrel vessel that we can brew into or clean into and put any of the yeast into it. And then from that, you dilute it to the right pH, and then we can ship it down the drain.
So it goes into the drain, but there's no air pollution involved, there's nothing,
No,
Mechanical stuff, though.
that system that we want to put down there is the same one we have at the chair now, and it's an electric system.
electric system,
Yeah.
okay.
Is there any smell in the air? Is there any discharge?
Yeah, there might be, but it'll be more in-house than anything, yeah. Some people dig it.
Any other questions, board? Okay.
How many,
Yep.
how many square feet are underneath Keith's? What's that?
Just Keith's?
Yeah.
Is about 1,200.
1,200 square feet.
Yeah, because right now with the restaurant that we have now, the front part is kitchen in the basement. So where you see now everything that's not lined out for Keith is actually kitchen downstairs. There's about 5,200 square feet there. Yeah, it's pretty big.
Now, how many seats do you have in your restaurant?
66.
66.
How many?
Yeah.
66.
And there's a space above Keith's that we're gonna do, if this works out, a function room in the back that can do another, I think it's 45 people. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty big.
Seems like such a small area.
You just used to walk into Anderson's, you only
Yeah,
went to that front counter. There's a lot more space in the back. Everybody says when they come in, they're like, we only remember like coming here, and then of course everybody asks for a donut, and I'm like,
any other questions for the board? Okay, thank you, Dave. Let's see if we got, anybody else want to speak in favor of this application? Anybody want to speak against this application? Okay. With that, close the public hearing. Try to find some findings of facts here. Anybody have any?
It's in a commercial zone.
That's true.
The applicant's application is allowed by special exception. We have it listed.
And there has been an existing business there for, quite a few years. Actually, 2 businesses there, huh? So normally this would be a problem for parking, but there's no parking required there.
Not going to be any different than it has been in the past. No increased.
Okay.
Seems to be ample space, 1,200 square feet.
That's what the whole thing is 1,200
That's
square feet?
just Keith's, just downstairs. What's the square footage on the whole thing, Dave?
upstairs and down?
Yeah.
It's like 52, 53.
Wow.
Yeah.
Much bigger than I thought.
Okay. What else we got to say here? And the
And water.
sewer and water was okay, yeah?
Now, Dave, how do they, when you de-yeast it, I guess, you take the yeast out of it? Yeah, when you take the yeast out of it before you dump it down the thing, how does the town verify that you're doing that, or is it just on, I promise to do that?
Well, I mean, I guess that's up to them. They're
Okay.
maybe they'll have to come in and check it down the drain or whatever.
Okay,
I mean, yeast is like a small part of it.
Yeah.
That's more the cleaning.
Yeah.
So you're using chemicals and stuff like that to clean it, and then it's gonna sit in the tank, and we have to add stuff to it to get it to the right pH, just like they do at the sewer,
Right.
before we ship it out. Because most of the yeast we will harvest about 12 to 13 times before we dispose of that. And then that usually goes to the pig farmers
Yeah.
so there really isn't a lot of yeast. There's gonna be some, obviously, when you're cleaning out the conical, but for the most part, there isn't.
Steve, did either one of you folks come in here for this first hearing on the brew pub downtown? You did?
I did.
Okay. So where did we go? Did I close?
Uh-oh.
We didn't close the public hearing yet,
You
did
did,
we?
you did.
We did. Well, why don't we just kind of reopen that a little bit? Everybody all right with that? And we'll let Steve, what do you got to say, Steve?
I wanted to help hit this
You got
operation out of the
props.
park. So I brought this presentation for Dave.
Thank you,
So
sir.
he could do that, and I'm really excited about his business. I think it's terrific. I know we can work together. It's a small community, and he's going to be a vital part of it. So I just want to put a positive word in.
Okay, we'll put that down as a positive.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
But another finding.
Yep.
Public spoke in favor of the,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, no negative comments, no negative or concerns. Concerns raised.
did we put in, there's no burden on the town?
No.
Oh, that's a good one.
That makes it
And it's tax generating. Not that we usually.
Tax 5 gallons of beer.
What was that last one you just said, Dave?
No burden on the town.
No burden on the town. Yep, I didn't get that. So I got a whole bunch of them now.
That's good.
So I got it's in commercial zone, it's allowed by special exception, has been in business for many years, no change to the parking, sewer and water is okay. Member of the public spoke in favor, no negative comments, and no burden on the town. We approve that finding of facts?
We approve the finding of fact.
No, okay, and we got a second on that? Butch seconds that? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, unanimous. So we can move on to the criteria for the special exception. Okay, here we go. The Board of Adjustment may, in any appropriate cases and subject to safeguards determined by the board, grant a special exception. The board, in acting on the application, shall take into consideration the following conditions. 1, proposed use shall only be those allowed in this ordinance by special exception. I think we've got that. Everybody agree or what?
Aye.
Aye.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. Well, the specific site is an appropriate location and of adequate size for the use?
Aye.
True.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. The use is developed will not adversely affect the character of the area in which the proposed use will be located?
True.
Another brew pub there, right? True?
True, true.
Yep, Jack, yeah. There will be no nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians?
True.
Seems true.
Okay. The use will not place excessive burden or excessive or undue burden on town services or facilities?
It's true.
True.
I agree. There will not be significant effect resulting from such use upon the public health, safety, and general welfare of the neighborhood in which the use will be located.
True.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve this. Stephanie?
Sure, yeah.
Stephanie, and second it?
Second.
Jack? And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Sanborn, you got your special exception. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, there's 2 down. Here we go. Next one. Of course, I know, it's kind of cheap now. Okay. Case 111, 110, V11, 13, 18, for variance, a request by Michael and Nicole Dane, 16 Pleasant Street, for a variance from Article 4, Section 411-2, quantity, area, dimensions, to allow an increase in the total number and configuration of a parking facility in a pre-existing non-conforming use.
Hi.
Mr. Dane, you're there. Okay.
Yep, we're here. So
Michael and Nicole.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
we own 16 Pleasant Street.
Okay.
It's next to the Child Development Center off of Langdon.
Yeah.
That way. And right now, our parking is off of Langdon Street, and it's this is what's approved by the town. Sorry.
This is the one where the tree fell down recently, right? That big tree?
Exactly.
Oh, I have copies of all those, Michael.
Oh, you do?
Yes, they weren't distributed though.
This is the toilet spot.
Oh, thank you.
Could you give one to Steph?
Sure.
Thank you.
And I want to change it from way that it's accepted now to move the parking onto Pleasant Street and put a driveway 75 feet from the intersection of Pleasant and Langdon, and actually put up a fence all the way down Langdon and around the property.
What kind of a fence?
I like a wood picket fence. I'm open to anything, you
Well,
know.
like a 4-foot, you don't need a permit
Yeah.
for a low fence, you don't need a permit.
Yep, yep.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. You just want to make it kind of look more homey-like.
Yeah.
I want to make it look more homey. I've been having a lot of vandalism there.
Yeah.
Last year, the dumpster got set on fire. You know, I'd like to move that up.
Hey, it was
On
couches
side.
a few years before that, that's all right. Great, any questions by the board?
Yeah. Is this the plan that you want to go with now?
No, that's the,
This is the existing.
That's the existing, this is the plan.
The dumpster is like pretty much right next to the.
Okay, I've got that one. Yeah, okay, I got this one.
Dumpster's pretty unsightly where it is.
It's what?
It's pretty unsightly where the dumpster
Yeah,
is.
it is, I mean,
Thought
that
for a
whole
long
area,
time.
I was down there this afternoon, and it's like, wow. I mean, of course, it was a mess with all the snow and everything.
We're just trying to make it all work better and have
Yeah.
parking spots so that they're not parking all over. And, you know, we have trouble in the winter because where the dumpster is, you know, sometimes the dumpster doesn't get emptied because they park in front of it. And we've tried different ways of moving it a little bit, and we haven't found it.
When did you guys buy this place?
Like 12 years
in
ago.
2005.
Oh, way back in '05. Oh, so you've had it for quite a while. And, yeah, you live up here? Where do you live?
In Nashua.
In Nashua? Oh, okay.
So what did you do for parking before? Now it's become a problem. So what did you do before?
I really don't understand the question.
Garage.
Oh, the garage? Yeah, so there's 2 to the left of the garage, there's 2 in the garage, and there's 2 to the right of the
Okay,
garage.
so why don't you use the garage now?
The garage is a problem, especially in the wintertime. After they paved the Langdon Street, they raised the road up a couple inches, and that couple of inches caused a huge problem for me in my garage. When the tenants, they'll the garage floor is like right even with the crest of the road now. So, like, when the tenants open the garage, they're just college kids. You know, like, ice and stuff will come in, they go to close the door, it doesn't close all the way. You know, so and then it freezes closed, so they bang on it to open it and stuff like that. It's just tough. I have to deal with frozen pipes every year because of it.
From the garage door being open,
And then it doesn't close properly after.
and that lets cold into the house.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Now, how many, that's in a residential,
Yes.
so, under residential, how many cars can you have there?
Well, it's a pre-existing non-conforming occupancy,
Grandfathered?
right, because there's, I don't know how many folks you have in there.
8.
8 of them.
What, that's 8 person in that house?
Right, and the parking requirements are much less for that. And there's also an indication in the zoning that 125% greater than the recommended parking is not allowed.
Oh, yeah. Oh. If- No more than 125%? Or is what?
Yeah, it's no less and no more than 125%.
No less, no, what,
Not less than 125% of them, or not more than 125%. There's two entries in the zoning for that, one for the minimum, one for the max.
oh, okay. So the minimum is 125 and the maximum is 125?
Yes.
And so how is this thing categorized? Is it like a 8-unit building, or what is it?
Yeah, pre-existing non-conforming, there's, how is it broken up inside?
A and B, 4.
Okay, so there's two units.
Oh, two 4-unit, 2 4-bedrooms.
So the answer to my question was,
Yeah.
there is, what's the answer? How many cars are they allowed?
And of course, I didn't bring my zoning ordinance with me. It's like a bedroom, or one for the first bedroom and a half for the next, for 2-unit buildings. And I can verify that if you
Yeah.
let me
So
run
how
down.
many number would that be?
Well, that would be, if they all have their own bedrooms, it's 1 plus, it's 3.5 per unit then. If those
Seven.
numbers are correct. It
So
might be a
seven.
little more.
So that'd be 7.
Yes.
So, and what about the percentage of coverage? I know this is gonna be gravel probably.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about the
Correct.
percent, the 75%. But still, that's a very busy area down there, and that, I mean, if everybody has their lawn 100% covered by parking spaces.
Well, we're running into a problem because everybody that started just putting gravel in has gone to starting to pave down there now. So you can see what the impact is on that sewer system already, going into our drains.
What
Right,
they-
but that doesn't go through the treatment center, that goes direct.
Some of it doesn't up there. Some
No.
places it does.
There might be some interconnects still, and we're still trying to work that out because we inherited the system from water and sewer. But at this point, it's probably less than 10% of the overall storm drainage is connected to the sewer,
Oh,
other than a few mysteries that may still be out there.
okay. What else what has the board got to ask Mr. Dane
What
here?
happens to the garage?
I would prefer to just board it up. It'll be a basement where my tenants can store stuff. I would like to put a door where a garage door is for entry in and out to the sidewalk right there.
This is the old one.
The house next door, I'm trying to remember what the house next door looks like. Is it another
It
student
looks like
rental?
it's empty. This afternoon I went by there.
Set
Parking
back.
for them is mostly to the rear. There's
Mostly
a driveway that runs by the house, and
runs
there's
by
parking
house,
in the back,
and it's
yes.
far back, and that's where their dumpster is, as far
Yes.
back.
And these driveways would be all off of one curb cut, or what? These new parking, the new parking plan.
Would be, sorry?
Would that be all off of one curb cut, 25 by... Really? It's not just like everybody just driving across the curb there?
It's indicated on the drawing, Mr. Chair.
It's
it's right
indicated there?
Oh, I see. Yeah,
What's this?
that's the driveway here, 75 feet down.
It's across the sidewalk.
Okay.
It's like the old trees.
Yeah, that would have to
or
pass
whatever.
through the sidewalk, as all driveways do.
Yeah, that's the one that's there now, right?
No, it fell.
Where's the other big tree? There's another big tree right over here, though, too.
Oh,
There's another big tree over there?
Yeah,
tree.
big beach tree.
Yeah, you're gonna just take that out, huh?
No,
We've been
no.
told the town doesn't want it down.
So, but how would you get those 4 spaces in over there?
The yard's plenty big enough.
pretty big, so they'd leave the tree there,
Okay.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe the tree's there.
Okay.
2, 3, 4.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, that intersection is really busy right there.
It is.
Yeah, I really think it would help with the safety, especially in the wintertime, if we did move it.
So, right now you have, what, 4 6 parking spaces? How many have you got now? You got one in the garage, and 2 next door to the garage. There's 3, and then you got down the street 4 or 5. But then you got the whole yards open up behind that.
It says you're 15 feet from the sidewalk on this?
Sideline,
Sidewalk?
Yeah, that's,
sideline, there's the driveway.
Where's the sidewalk?
No, sidewalk's here.
Yeah, there's one,
No, sidewalk's
oh, I
over there.
see, yeah, right.
Sidewalk would be there.
Okay, you want to open up the public, see what you got to say? Thank you very much, Wayne.
Thank you.
Is there anybody in the audience who would like to speak in favor of this application? Is there anybody in the audience who wants to speak against the application? Or neutral? No comments at all, huh? Okay, we'll close the public hearing. So, what do you guys think?
I got a comment. I think it's a fair trade to get the parking, to get the entryway off of Pleasant Street instead of Langdon Street is a plus. Langdon Street tends to be a faster throughway.
Yeah.
It's also much
also-
closer to the
It's
intersection.
also, this would be further from the intersection, which would be safer as well.
I think the new plan would be a little more eye-pleasing than their current arrangement. I think that the current dumpster location is very unsightly.
It's true. Both of those are true.
Yeah.
So, what would we get that, he wants to put a fence along
That's just-
Langdon Street?
That's not a screening fence.
Not a
It's a low-
screening
it's a low-
fence,
it's a low
just a
fence.
delineated fence, so that people wouldn't be driving on the lawn now. Is there a curb there now, Brian? On,
Yes, there's curb and sidewalks that wrap up Pleasant and down Langdon in front of the building.
There is.
Yes.
So, and he'd kind of be abandoning the use of the garage.
And he's looking for a variance, right?
Right.
I have a, I have a little problem with that because basically, when we give a variance, we give it permission to break our own laws.
That's what a variance is.
Right. So when we grandfathered these buildings, we basically said the grandfathering is eventually supposed to work so that it eventually would conform to the zoning ordinances. Eventually, that would be the long-range plan. That would be the best scenario. The next scenario that would be the best for, or second best, would be that it wouldn't grow anymore. Right? The grandfather, we don't want it to expand. Okay. So I feel that by allowing this parking and stuff, that we're just encouraging for further expansion. That's how I feel.
Well, a way of curtailing that is to approve 6 spaces instead of 8.
Right.
That wouldn't expand the use,
Right.
and it would make a safer situation.
Yeah.
For everybody concerned. The 2 that are next to the building don't look so good anyway, but that's not me to judge, I guess.
You've owned this, what, 12 years? So, we had issues with that before then. I remember that. With this property.
All the way back to Priscilla Guinan.
Yeah, yeah. But, who did you purchase that from? Right. So,
I can tell you since we've owned it, it's been 8 people. We have no intention of making it bigger. We're just trying to make it look nicer for
Well,
the town and have it work.
I believe you have the best intentions, I really do, but we've seen over and over when it's sold. Just gives people just,
Yeah,
174 South Main, perfect example.
yeah. It just creeps, the garage would be turned into more bedroom space.
Right.
That's the whole thing
Absolutely.
just goes. I mean, this would be great You know, I'd be excited about this plan if I was down in the neighborhood, and to think that we were gonna reclaim that Langdon Street and they were gonna go in and park in these spaces, but these guys all over that place, they park all over the yard, and it's like, controlling it is a real challenge. I mean, that's,
That's our whole intent.
That's
is
why
to
we're-
fix it.
yeah, but you can't stop them from just pulling in here behind these and leaving the car there. You know, basically, you've got a parking lot that's about that size of a rectangle now.
Well, the
We're
issue
like-
is if we rent to 8 people, if they each have one spot,
Yeah.
then they all have a spot to park, and that's all they have. Right now, you know.
We all know that 8 people, they all have girlfriends and boyfriends and, you know, friends that come in that have been traveling across country, and they come in and they stay, and they just stick it over there, and there's so many cases of that around town that it's like,
Yeah, but we can lay it out so that it would be tough to get other cars in there.
yeah. And then you may have the best intentions, but, you know, the market's going like crazy, and you may just decide to pop that place and sell that place. Go ahead, what?
I just had a question. Is it possible to approve it as presented with wording that states not having it expanded in the future?
Yeah, I mean, we can put conditions on the approval and all of that. It's,
You can't enforce them. So, that's the problem. I'd be in favor of this if it were 6 spaces. I think it meets Butch's criteria. I think it's safer, it's better for the town. And it wouldn't be enlarging a non-conforming use. I don't know if Butch agrees with that.
Yeah, I can tell you, I don't know if we can't have the 8, because we have 8 people paying us, how do we decide who doesn't park there?
I think that's the landlord's problem.
Yeah.
Do you have 8 spots right now?
yeah.
Do
well,
you have 8 spots
people-
right now?
8 people renting.
Right, but do you have 8 parking spots
Not
right now?
approved spots. There's been 8, they park 8 now, but there's not 8 approved, and that's why, you know, we've been trying to make improvements on the house and trying to do different things, and now we're at the point where we're able to work on the outside more, and we're just trying to get it so that there's spots for everybody, because you know, it's one of those things. Years ago when I went to Plymouth, this is where I went, you know, I parked my car way down there and took the bus, and, you know, I bought this to have a little piece of Plymouth because I was here 25 years ago and loved it. It's just, everybody has a car, and a lot of the kids come from different places, so that's the issue with trying to make sure everybody has a spot, because we're very good, like you talk to the police, like anytime, you know, our house over the past 5 years hasn't been on the police log much. Anytime it is, I call up the police department. I've talked to the lady at sorry, I'm thinking of Bedford Village Inn, at the inn down the street. You know, we spend a lot of time in the summer, you know, we're just trying to make it work, and I feel that if we rent to 8 people, which is what we're allotted for, and we don't have 8 spots, we're gonna have trouble with the parking. If we have 8 spots and they each have one, then it's easier to enforce. You know, I've thought of calling, if there's a tow company, I know I live in Nashua, you know, people drive around trying to make money and just tow people if they're parked in the wrong spots. You know, we're not against anything like that. If we can find somebody around here, hey, this is our parking plan, people aren't parked in the right spot, tow them.
Yeah, but Friday night, you're in Nashua, and all your neighbors are gonna look over there and see, you know, 15 cars parked there. I mean, I've got one right down the street from me that just started up, and it's like, I mean, you guys are in here and you're doing your diligence. I mean, I don't dislike your plan at all. It's just that it never goes with that, with college parking. They wind up, they got this space.
He's got an argument.
Yep. Right. What?
I can promise that the way we want to lay it out, you'll be able to park less cars in there with the new plan than with the existing plan.
Yep. Okay. Well, any other questions? Jack? Feel free to jump in now. You're not holding back, right? Okay.
I think the question is, what are we going to vote on?
Oh, I thought I was going to close the case and...
Okay.
So at that point, we'll close there's nobody to speak in favor, or anybody opposed?
Well, I'd
Oh.
like to just say I'm in favor of it. It sounds like it's.
Okay, what's your name, ma'am?
It's Bonnie Acton.
Okay.
Are
It
you a
sounds-
neighbor or
No, I live in Holderness.
you live in Holderness?
And do you have any property down by there, or?
No,
So you're not a Plymouth resident?
no.
And you're not a butter. Okay, it's not really, I don't think it's really appropriate for you to be
Oh, okay.
given
Just a
that.
nice person.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming in, your concern, though. Don't think of that. Okay, so with that, we'll close the public hearing and open it up to the board. So we can do some findings of facts, that kind of might help solidify this a little bit. What were you saying, Dave? What are we
Property is a
doing? We're voting
pre-exi-
on a variance, right?
The property is a pre-existing non-conforming use.
Okay. Okay, and the existing plan, the prior plan showed 6 spaces, right?
Prior plan, 6 parking, I thought 4. 1, 2, 3, 4,
2 in the garage.
And the garage.
Oh, and the garage.
In the garage.
2 in the garage. Nobody's parked in that garage for years.
Yeah.
Mine either.
I know that.
This, look, I would say that the proposal would reorganize the parking.
That's what it does.
Plan as proposed would reorganize the parking.
Relocate is a better word.
Okay. Well, no, plus it expands it. It would expand
Oh,
and
there you go.
relocate.
I'd like to offer a fact.
What?
Traffic is heavier on Langdon Street than it is on Pleasant Street.
That's true.
Oh, yeah, and I want to put that they are proposing block off of Langdon Street.
Four-way stop intersection right there.
Oh, yeah.
And then you ought to add that this makes the driveway further from the intersection.
And the current dumpster location is very unsightly.
Oh, yes.
It really is, especially when it's overflowing.
Beer bottles.
And 7 is the dumpster.
You offer another fact?
Almost ready.
Tom?
Maybe
Okay.
there's one
Oh,
more.
no, they're proposing to put the dumpster out behind the building.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the new location would be much better. It would be much more hidden back there.
Okay, I got 7 of them. You want me to read them back? What you got?
Another one.
You got another one?
You know, the applicant wants to expand the number of parking spaces beyond those allowed, currently allowed in the zoning ordinance.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what this is about.
That's right.
Okay. That's like 8. You want me to read them back, Brian?
Please do.
Sure. Number 1, the property is a pre-existing, non-conforming use. Number 2, prior plan showed 6 spaces. New plan, number 3, new plan would expand and relocate parking. Number 4, traffic is heavier on Langdon than on Pleasant Street. Number 5, it's a 4-way stop at that intersection. Number 6, the plan is to block off Langdon parking. Number 7, the dumpster is unsightly, its present location, the proposed location would be better. And number 8, the applicant wants to expand the number of spaces beyond what is allowed at 125%.
I think you have to add the second part of one of those, which is that the entry to the driveway will be further from the intersection than it currently is.
Oh, okay. So block off Langdon parking and move driveway further from Langdon.
75 feet.
Oh, that sounds good. Anything else to add here? Okay, we want to approve the, what do you call them here, the findings of facts?
I move we approve the finding of facts.
Second.
Dave? Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So, let's move on to the criteria here that Brian lays out for us so nice and neatly. Makes it so simple for us to do our job, as may be.
We're getting old, we need constant reminders, Mr.
It's so true, it's so
For
true.
yourselves.
Speak for yourself.
Okay. Variance. The Board of Adjustment may authorize a variance from the terms of this ordinance where the Board of Adjustment finds that all of the following conditions apply. Granting the variance will not diminish the value of surrounding properties. Okay, anybody have an input on that? True or false? No, none of the above.
Will not diminish. Can you read it one more time? It will not diminish the
The
value.
granting the variance will not diminish the value of the surrounding properties.
I'm gonna say that's true. I don't think it will.
I think it's true.
True.
It's true.
Okay. Yep, I'll go along with that. The variance will not be contrary to the public interest.
True.
Go with that. True.
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 Okay, I agree with that. Denial of variance would result in an unnecessary hardship upon proof that, 1, A, zoning restriction as applied to the applicant's property interferes with the applicant's reasonable use of the property, considering the unique setting of the property and its environment. B, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general purposes of the zoning ordinance and the specific restriction on the property. And C, the variance will not injure the public or private rights of others.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah,
those all have to be considered separately.
Separate, yeah.
yeah, I get that now. So, who wants to go with that first one? The restriction is applied to the applicant's property interferes with the applicant's reasonable use of the property, considering the unique setting of the property and its environment.
I'm saying that's false.
That this interferes with the applicant's reasonable use of the property.
I think it's false.
You what?
It's false.
You think it's false too? You too, Steph? Jack?
One's worded
It's a
well.
non-conforming use that's been used for years in the way that it is.
Backwards phrase.
Yeah, it's backwards phrase.
It's a tough one.
Oh, wait a minute. You and Mrs. Pleasant. The zoning restriction as applied to the applicant's property interferes with the applicant's reasonable use of the property. Okay, so we got 3 faults. Jack, you're up.
False.
Okay, 4. And I'd agree with that. No fair and
I mean,
substantial.
Mr. Chair, was that
Yes.
a neg,
No, that was a false
you agree that
too.
it was false, thank you.
No fair and substantial relationship exists between the general purposes of the zoning ordinance and the specific restriction on the property. No fair and substantial relationship exists between the general purposes of the ordinance and the specific restriction on the property.
I believe that's false.
False.
False?
I think that is false.
That the ordinance does have a relationship to that.
Yes.
Yeah.
False.
Okay, me too. That's 5 false. The variance would not injure the public or private rights of others.
True.
I'd say true to that.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yep, agree with that. All true. Okay, we made it through that 3. Granting the variance would do substantial justice.
True.
1 true.
I think it's false.
False.
Yeah, I don't know that it would get
It's more fair to
substantial
keep,
justice.
it's more fair to enforce the ordinance.
Yeah, that's a real concern of that, I think. Okay, so we got 1 true and 4 false on number 4. You with me, Brian, all right?
Gotcha.
The use will not be contrary to the spirit and intent of the ordinance.
Well, there are limits set on parking in the ordinance.
I think that's false too.
I think it's false.
That's 1, 2. Jack?
False.
False. Me? Butch said,
False.
yeah, and I agree with that too.
Brian,
Worded hard.
Okay?
would a variance have been required if they asked for 6 parking spaces?
I can get the answer to that right now if you could wait for me just one moment.
Okay.
Yep.
With your, by your leave, Mr. Chair.
Is he gonna Google that on his cell phone?
It's got the book
I'm sure
downstairs.
he's gonna go with the book.
I didn't bring those.
Zoning board.
Yeah, that's a tough
The
one.
ordinance with them if you want.
That's a tough one.
That's what I wanted.
Because that wouldn't be enlarged, I view that as it wouldn't be enlarging a non-conforming use.
Right.
It would be better to
You
plan.
wouldn't be enlarging it.
Right.
Do like the
It
plan.
wouldn't be the 125%. Seems though we could reorganize the parking spaces without even any kind of a hearing, right?
That's what a question I asked.
It's too bad they can't fit all 6 of them in that one line.
Yeah, I mean, it must be crazy down there with the headlights aiming all around into everybody's different yards, and it's just like
Yeah.
chaos down there, I swear.
Yeah.
Okay, I was wrong as I thought. Two-family house requires 2 spaces per dwelling unit per the ordinance.
Okay.
And then the, that percentage factor, it's located in a strange place, but parking for less than 125% of the minimum number in that zone is not allowed. So it's variance use all down the line. Same with the overage.
Okay.
Okay, so what was the question was, could they reorganize their parking lots if they only had 6? If they kept 6 parking spaces? Okay, just
Not
come in
without
through with
getting
the-
a variance.
Not without getting a variance, it would still need a variance
Yes, for 6.
just to go move those at all, huh?
Yes.
That makes sense. Because they're trying to move more towards conformity. All right.
That's a tough one.
You want to make the motion?
Yeah, I'm sorry to lose momentum here. What do you want to do? Where are we?
We are at We don't have a unanimous consent on that.
We don't have unanimous
Criteria.
consent on the finding, on the criteria. And as far as this, that's superficial to this too. Okay,
Should vote on it, though.
anybody want to make a motion?
Make a motion that we deny the variance.
Okay, Butch
I'll second it.
and Dave. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Jack?
Opposed?
Opposed? Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, that variance was denied, folks. That's, I wish there's so much about your plan that everybody likes, but I guess that we've seen so much of that neighborhood deteriorate so poorly, and we are just so skittish to do much of anything to encourage more density and more cars, and I think that, I can't really speak for the whole board. You heard what went on there, but you've got a good idea. I wish you could shake it up a little bit and see if you can come up with something a little bit different and open up that space in the, backing off of Langdon Street. There's a lot of support for you not using the Langdon Street, but this variance in particular is denied. Thank you. Okay, next one. You ready? Everybody get your papers out of your way? Case 104020, and another variance, 111318, request from John Dockery, 188 Highland Street, Plymouth, for a variance relief from Article 3, Section 304, Table of Uses, to create a bed and breakfast within a footprint of an existing residential home. An identical request was made by the previous owner and granted a use variance back in 2014 that has lapsed, but no substantial development occurred within the allotted time. This application requests relief in the Plymouth zoning ordinance. The property is in a split zone, single-family and residential zone, and industrial commercial zone. Well, it's got all three of them, huh? No, single-family, residential zone, and industrial commercial. And Mr. Dockery,
Hello, board.
look forward to hearing from you. What do you got to say? What can I help you with?
Actually, it doesn't expire yet. I think it expires about a week from now, which is my year anniversary. My understanding was I had a year to do something, and unfortunately, that's not going to happen. Keeping using it as a commercial space. What we're
okay.
looking for is basically what's already been granted. I've been listening to the other proposals. I don't see how in any way, shape, or form this puts any burden on the town at all, any increased burden on the town at all. We're looking for a situation where we've been told that what's going on is there seems to be a shortage, a chronic shortage of temporary housing as far as weekend housing rental from tourists for the area. We have all kinds of things happening around here, which is fantastic for somebody who came in just a year ago. The wild card on this, of course, is Tenny Mountain. We don't know what's happening there. But we're looking for pretty much, from what I understand, everybody's getting into rock climbing, and once they go inside the gyms and climb up in Somerville and Connecticut and all those places down there, they come up and they want to do the real thing, and where they're doing that is Rattlesnake Mountain. It's getting a national reputation, some say international reputation, for a place to climb rock.
Yeah.
800 people showing up on the weekends, many of them from far away, and what we're hearing is that the lodging situation, temporary lodging situation, is they're going up into the White Mountains to rent places. And they have no desire to go to the traditional White Mountain attractions. They want to be in Rumney. So what we're offering is we have a 4-bedroom house,
Okay.
3 bedrooms.
That's what it is now, right?
That's what it is now, yep. And I say that 4 bedrooms is adjoining bedrooms, so you have to be very either family situation or very open-minded. You have to walk through one bedroom to get to another bedroom.
Okay.
So 3 bathrooms. And pretty much there's no change to anything that's out there. It's been used as a business since before zoning, I guess, from what I understand from the previous owners. And basically, as far as the signage is gone, there was signs on the building, and on the street there was a sign on a tree. All that's been gone, taken care of. We're marketing directly to the climbing community in Rumney, which we've already talked to some people about that. And basically, we may reach out to Plymouth State University on the couple of weekends that have a lot of people in town. Primarily, that would be graduation weekend and homecoming and some other major event or something like that, where, again, the people coming to us and asking us are actually other property owners who are doing bed and breakfast type situations, and they're saying, we're looking to send people somewhere. So, I mean, as far as, there were 2 DOT signs, New Hampshire DOT signs, I assume, on the Tenny Mountain Highway. They've both been taken down. I don't know who took them down, but they're down. So there's no traffic. The business there's been a lot of business there over the years. Previous owner had a lot of different businesses. Sometimes during the day, she had a quilt shop, she had an antique shop, she had a store that she sold jam and jelly in. It seems like there was a lot of traffic there. I'm looking for maybe rental, maybe 2 or 3 couples per weekend.
Hey, you own or occupied?
Yeah,
And so one of these 3 bedrooms yours, or one of the 4 bedrooms yours?
one of them is mine. I'm not giving it up.
Okay, good idea. I don't blame you. Okay,
Now, you have a cottage on that property also.
There's basically, to call it a cottage is being extremely generous, but there is something there. Right now, the people occupying that would be squirrels. There's no heat, there's no water, there's no toilet facilities, there's nothing there. It's basically, think of it as a garage. She called it a carriage house in her proposal.
Right.
That was incredibly generous of her. So, I mean, it's going to be I don't think there's enough years of my life on planet Earth to get that into a place where it's going to be rental, or rentable to anybody, unless you're camping.
okay.
So basically, what I'm asking you is for what you've already approved, and just a continuation to give me some time to to evict the squirrels, basically, and get it going again.
Very good. Any other questions of John? Thank you very much,
Okay,
sir.
great.
Okay. Anybody else here speak in favor of that application? Sure.
My name's Rose DuBois. I live across the street at 189 Highland Street. I've been there 18 years, so I was there when I believe his name was Franklin Pierce, lived there, the elderly gentleman. And he had an antique business, and he also rebuilt old vintage vehicles. I've been there the whole time. Jan's been there, and she did have all the businesses like he mentioned. When she did add on the bed and breakfast, there was no appreciable impact. I barely even noticed there were people there. And in fact, there's a lot less traffic since the antique shop is gone. And the building you were talking about as a cottage, that was originally like a little shed garage, and she closed it in and she was using it for like a little garden, sell garden stuff. But like he said, there's no water, there's no sewer, there's no heat, no nothing. So basically it would just be the house, but I'm in favor of it. It's been very nice, and he's made some vast improvements to the house, so it's nice to see that it's going to, this old farmhouse is going to endure. It's not going to decline like so many do and, go away, but I think it's a nice addition to the neighborhood.
Very nice. Thank you, Mr.
Very
Boyce.
nice, very nice neighborhood.
Okay. Anybody else speak in favor of the application? Anybody speak opposed to the application? No? That's about it. With that, the board have questions of the owner here? Okay. We'll close the public hearing, move on to finding of facts.
I got a couple of questions for Butch.
Sure.
Were you here when they approved this?
Yes.
Does it expire within a week?
I believe it does. It doesn't seem like it's been that long, but
We're giving 3 years on the approvals now.
I thought we were.
I couldn't find it in my,
But how come, is he renting those rooms now? Is he doing this now under
no,
that?
No.
No, I'm going to start in the spring.
When did you purchase that?
November 17th, 2017. And I was told by somebody a neighbor,
Must
give
be
me
you.
put a thing in my ear and said, you better talk to the board, because if you don't do it in a year, it reverts back to residential. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I was told, and that's why I'm here today. 51 weeks, I might add, before.
This was here a year ago.
Timeliness.
It's just a year ago.
Was it here a year ago?
Yeah. I bought it just before Thanksgiving.
Can this be looked at as an extension, or do we have to look at it as an altogether new variance?
I didn't realize it was this close to the termination of it. Generally, we ask for 2 weeks, but there are the board's rules of procedure on this. There's no statutory guidance as far as how long we can let these go. So if the board would, so wishes, and because it hasn't expired, you can look at it as
To expect it,
to re-energize it, as it were.
so they give another 3
Entirely at your
years on it?
discretion,
Another 3 years on it, is that what it?
or whatever time frame you would like to
It's only had a
We
year.
just had a year. Oh, she just had a year.
Did you say though the new,
I would make a motion to extend it for an additional
the new
year.
I think that's a
variances for
great
this are
idea,
getting
too.
3 years now?
Pardon me?
The new,
There are some cases where there's a substantial completion under these things. It's different than the appeal period, which is only 30 days. But I know the planning board, because we just had one with the Bridge House, it expires after 1 year. And I believe that for the zoning board, it was extended a couple of years ago just to accommodate people who can't get quickly off the mark.
We've got a motion to extend this thing for a year. Would that, are we not going to answer the variance? Is that, how do we do that? If this motion goes to extend it for a year?
Oh, you're covered in the light of going through the findings of fact, you found that that it hadn't expired yet.
Yeah.
And then immediately shifted over to the extension of the permit, or the,
So the variance hasn't expired yet, is the other one. Let me just read off the findings of fact here. No burden on the town, shortage of housing, 4-bedroom house with 3 bathrooms.
Tom,
Yep, sorry.
I don't want to be nitpicky about this, but we'd be better off just to extend it without making new findings of fact.
Right.
Okay, yep, I agree too, that's right, because the other ones were already there.
we have to, this board before
Okay,
us
so
did
Dave, do you want to
hear-
make that motion?
I make a motion, we extend it for an additional year.
I second it.
And Butch. And all those in favor of extending the motion for another year?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Great. You got your variance for another year, look at that.
Fabulous, I'll be back in October, there'll be no questions at all about anything. I do have one question I have to ask, because
Yeah.
my partner on this, Sheila Coughlin, watches a lot of home and garden TV, and she asked me to ask the board about muffin and a cup of coffee in the morning kind of thing. Is there any issue with any kind of food thing, other than if we're charging like a restaurant?
Yeah, no, no.
Did the variance say bed and breakfast?
Yeah, bed
Yeah.
and breakfast.
Sounds to me that's a pretty weak breakfast.
yes,
Okay.
I mean, it's offered, so.
You just want to be very specific, you want to be sure.
Great. All right, good luck to you, okay? You got good
Be
spirit.
back, see you in October.
Thank you.
I missed the second on that, Mr. Chair.
Well, second on that was Butch.
Butch,
It was
thank
Dave
you.
and Butch. And that was unanimous.
I don't think it would have passed the criteria.
Okay. Well, is there any other business to come up?
No, we do have a communication from the first request.
First,
First, is that totally withdrawn?
Absolutely.
yeah,
So we're back to ground zero.
Yes, he's free to reapply. I spoke to him on the phone today.
Right, okay.
And he decided, because I guess they haven't decided how many buildings they want to actually claim.
Well, from what I get out of the correspondence, they're gonna put in a zoning amendment.
That was something he would like. He'd been discussing that, and I'd already broached that with the planning board, not through him, but on my own.
Okay,
doesn't sound like a bad idea. The cluster.
that's for them to judge.
Just saying. Okay, so there's nothing else?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. You guys can go back to college.